have really unique and vivid imagination. So nothing feels derivative. You know, one of the challenges in the entertainment industry in general today is finding original voices that people are willing to stand behind. Because often the most original voices are the newest voices, and they're the voices that haven't really been tested by time and the challenges of any particular facet of the industry. And that's why it's really nice to align ourselves with a company that believes the same thing. You know, I'm most interested in trust and belief in people. And so as a company, it's really great that we're able to work with people that we have that with implicitly, and that seems to be everybody you see sitting up here. So Mr. Murder is Dead is our real first offering with Archaia, and we're all really excited about it. You know, for me, it's like the oldness of it, right? Like it's not slick, it's not shiny. There's a grittiness to it, and there's levels. It's operating on a lot of different levels. There's stories within the story. There's the history of these characters, which in so many ways is brighter than their present. And they're struggling with a lot of things. Anybody that knows me, and our logo reflects it, like the shadow is something that's really important. And so to bring it into the stories that we're telling and making sure that you're always sort of exploring it and examining it in a human way, I think is really magnetizing and exciting and draws an audience in. So hopefully everybody here feels that way as well. And then also the second project, right? The what? You have a second project. Yeah, the second project that we're working on, which is kind of on the opposite end of the spectrum in terms of the world that's been created, was created by Michael McMillan. So Michael's going to talk a little bit about that. Michael McMillan from True Blood, and also from What I Like About You. You may have seen it on Facebook.
First of all, everything that Victor said about working with these guys, I feel absolutely the same way. These are dear, dear friends of mine, and this is really such an exciting thing for me because you know, I grew up with two loves: acting and comic books. And actually, you know, was reading comic books well before I ever did the school play. And so this has been a big dream of mine is to work in comics. So the book is really cool. You know, I'm inspired by a lot of things, but Lucid comes out of one thing in particular that I've really been interested in is this historical figure named John Dee, who was Queen Elizabeth I's court magician, and he was an alchemist and a mathematician and a scryer and all these, you know, fun medieval magical things. And he was an advisor, and he would tell her when to go to war. He would tell her when to have parties. He would tell her when to throw weddings, even though she never really had one, I guess. Maybe he told her never to get married. I don't know. But he was also credited at one point for, I think, sinking ships in the Spanish Armada when they were attacking England by creating a storm. And this was something that historically he was known for. So this is a really cool idea, and it got me thinking, like, you know, what if we had that today? What if, you know, like Barack Obama had like some like ass-kicking combat mage, like trying to like solve the problems of the free world, you know? I mean, it'd be really kind of a cool thing. And then what would happen if that power was ever abused? So Lucid takes place in an alternate universe, parallel universe, where all the world powers have working for them these black ops combat mages. I've sort of coined them with the affectionate term of secret magents, which I don't know if we'll actually use in the comic, but it's kind of become our affectionate term for them. And they're running around in secret, behind the scenes, you know, working in counterintelligence, protecting the national interest, waging secret wars. So this is a world where it's modern times. There's a new president, very similar to the one that we have, who has a lot of promise of leading us into a new golden age.
What's the president's name, Michael?
It's Narak. And no, actually his name is President Jefferson Monday.
Isn't that a good name?
And our resident combat mage is Matthew D. And he is a descendant of John Dee, so I'm trying to tie in this historical thing into, you know, it has these historical roots that have spawned this big mythological, fantastical, modern world where magic is bubbling beneath the surface. So I'm really excited about it. I think it's going to be really fun. I'm an avid comics reader, and one of the things that's really important to me is that comics are fun, and comics are an escape. And that's all my favorite comics have a sense of humor. They're as sexy as they are action-packed. And it's a world of danger. It gets dark in places, but most importantly, I want to make a really fun book that is inspired by the fiction that I loved growing up, which was, high adventure, action, stories like Indiana Jones and James Bond and H.G. Wells and Tom Swift. So I'm hoping it'll harken to some of that.
Awesome.
And maybe
we're going to open the microphone to some questions.
Get out there, girl.
We know and Ashley loves Zach, but what we really want to do is sort of focus on the stuff that we're talking about here on the panel. So if you guys can be respectful of that, that would really be terrific.
I'm curious.